Welcome back to Tailgate Talk, Season 2, Episode 18, with your host, the prognosticator, co-host Grampus, and the one and only K-Dog. And we have a special guest with us today. We have the head coach of the Cove War Eagles, Mr. Gary Collier. Gary, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me on.
All right, guys, let's get into a little bit of college football to kick this thing off. What do you think? We got a college recap. But first, we have Oregon State, Boise State.
What was it? Kermit called them last week the Purple Smurfs.
That's what they are, the Purple Smurfs, not the Broncos.
They just keep rolling.
Oh, 34-18. At the number 11 spot, probably moved up.
I'd say after what shook out in front of them, yeah, I'd say they're going to be up.
Well, the last 2 weeks has been a big shake-up for college football. So.
Oh, yeah.
Is that all y'all got on that one?
I mean, it's Boise State doing Boise State things.
Cut and dry, ain't it? Oklahoma State, Colorado.
This one surprised me. I picked Colorado, but they won, what was it, 52-0?
Yeah, 52-0. Shut out.
That's what gets me with Colorado. They have games like that, then they have games where they look like they're barely going to win 3 games.
Yeah, they have games where they just seem like they struggle with their identity, and then it's like you're saying, they have games like this where they come out and just blow them out.
Yeah.
Look like they're kicking on all 8 cylinders.
But I love Dion. I love what he's doing there. And Travis Hunter is the Heisman Trophy winner.
You seen what he said there? That if he's like, he don't even want his anymore or something other, his award or something other. They don't give it to him.
Do you know they didn't even name him as a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award, which is supposed to be the best
Defensive player. I think that's the one Dion's talking about. He's like, I don't even want mine.
Yeah, that's the one he was talking about. He wasn't even a finalist, and said he didn't want his, and he was going to give it to Hunter.
Yeah,
his own to Hunter. So,
yeah.
And how can you not say he's one? I mean, he's the best defensive back in the country.
Yeah,
he's absolutely just amazing. I would have him on my team any day.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Well, Mississippi State, Ole Miss.
Don't even say it.
Come on.
Y'all stay on that stupid lane train. But
how about the lane train, baby? You took them Bulldogs, son.
You daggone right I did.
You got something with Bulldogs, son.
Old school.
You got history with the Bulldogs or something?
Yeah.
There you. What do you think about it? Come on, tell us about it.
What's more to say? I mean, he beat a 2-wins team.
I can't believe he went there.
I can't believe Ole Miss is ranked number 14. So they might slip their way on up there.
Well,
I tell you, we'll cover this game here in a couple, but there's another team that can surprise people and slip in there too.
Yep. How about Georgia Tech, Georgia? This one was super overtime. Georgia Tech gave Georgia all they wanted. Should have won this game, actually. What was it, 2 minutes to go? They were up 2 scores?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, well, it's about 5 minutes, and Georgia was driving, while Georgia Tech was up 2 scores. I think they scored with 2 minutes to go in the game and brought it with 1 touchdown.
And then Georgia Tech fumbled with like a minute to go, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah. They're going 8 overtimes. I mean, it's one of them games you pull out the ESPN archives. It's something you can see on 60-60 or something. If you're a Georgia Tech fan, you got to be dying. You know you had it. I don't know how many times they had this game won. Overtime, one of the Georgia players, I think it might have been 3rd, 4th overtime, one of the Georgia players wide open in the back of the end zone, hit him right in the chest, and he drops it.
Yep.
I thought, well, it's definitely over now, and somehow Georgia Tech just couldn't capitalize. But speaking of that King kid, that quarterback for Georgia Tech, man, that kid played his tail off. He was amazing.
He's tough.
Yeah, he is. He's real good. Tennessee Vandy, this one started out a little rough, didn't it, Grant?
Yeah, it started out. Vandy jumped up. Well, they returned the opening kickoff and then took the ball right back down and scored again. Jumped up 14-0. But I think, as I was watching it, I was flipping back and forth between it and the Ohio State. I'm not going to have to say that, the Ohio State, like we didn't know it. But
well, you gotta put that "the" on there.
But I think after the first quarter, Vandy had 61 yards of offense. Was all. It just took Tennessee a little time. Tennessee's played too many 7 o'clock games this year. It took them a while to realize we're playing football at noon. Once they started playing, man, Nico looked probably his best, I think, in this game. Best he's looked all year.
You see, what was it? They had like 5 or 6 7 o'clock ball games this year, or something like that.
Yeah, he looked. I think he looked his. Anyway, statistically, it wasn't his best game probably, but just watching him, man, he played the position the smoothest that he's played it all year, I think. So maybe he's coming in his own at the right time because it's lined up here. There's no reason they shouldn't be in this playoff. And with that defense, I give them a shot against anybody.
Absolutely, that defense is absolutely.
And
tough.
I'm hoping for a home game in Neyland. Can you imagine a playoff game in Neyland?
It looks like there's going to be one right on it. They're ranked 6th right now.
I don't know. Yeah, well, they'll move up. They'll have that reveal or whatever.
When's that coming out? This week? Tuesday.
Yeah, they'll do this one.
It'll definitely won't be settled till after championship weekend, this coming weekend. So,
I'm not a big Tennessee fan, but if that happens, I'd love to be down there on one of them big old boats. Just a rocking. That'd be awesome.
I actually have a buddy that could probably hook us up with that, Gary.
Not sure about that.
Come on.
He said a pontoon. What he
Little crappy boat, maybe.
Any kind. No, we'll fit right in with those.
It floats and it don't leak, so you're in good shape.
There we go. There we go.
We just latch on to one of the big yachts, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll get right in between them, son.
We'll throw the ladder up.
We'll take us to the dollar store grill.
Shoot, yeah.
2 hamburgers at a time, son. We can tailgate with the best of them. How you think we got our podcast name? Tailgating, son. All right, Michigan, Ohio State. Grant, tell us about this one, buddy.
Oh, I loved it. Loved every minute of it. Ohio State got the best roster money can buy in college football. And everybody's throwing dirt on Michigan. We said last week, rivalry games, you can throw records out the window. Michigan come into the...
Well, everybody but me. Wolverines!
Well, I really did think that Ohio State would get them. I thought Michigan wouldn't be able to score enough points. I figured, but they made it a Michigan game, made it ugly, made them play between the tackles. And pretty sure they won the fight after the game too.
Yeah,
they went 2-0 in Columbus Saturday.
2-0, son. 2-0.
And watching this ball game, it was a crazy ending because Ohio got down there and threw the interception. And then you thought, well, boy, Michigan escaped that one. And then it wasn't but a play later, Michigan throws the interception right back to them, gives them the ball at the same spot. And it was one heck of a stance by Michigan on defense in this ball game.
And that front four from Michigan, their defensive line, gosh, they took over. They owned this game.
Oh yeah, it's but I just had a feeling it's one of them games that being a Wolverine fan, don't you do it. Being a Wolverine fan. I just felt like it's a game that didn't matter what they done all year. They win this one. Coach gets a new contract. Woo!
So, won't you tell us why you're such a big Michigan fan? Is it that?
I'll tell you the truth. When I was little, I watched a documentary on the Wolverines, and in that documentary, that on Wolverine, it beat a pack of wolves up, and it beat a bear up, and run a bear off over its food, and it just go take its food from whatever it wanted to, man. And ever since, man, I've loved the Wolverine.
It's not about the color of the team.
Well, you got to love that.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Aaron. I thought the documentary he was talking about, maybe he watched about Wolverines, was Red Dawn.
I've seen that and the remake quite a few times. ain't a bad movie.
Shoot, yeah. We love you, dog. We like aggravating you about that. Well, we just figured it was the blue and yellow that was the deciding factor on it.
You just don't mess with the Wolverines, son. Any animal that walk up and take food from a pack of wolves or chase a bear off and take his food, it got to be pretty daggone mean.
Yeah. How about we talk about this one right here? This is a team that's screaming, let us in. Let us in. South Carolina Clemson.
I'm screaming, let them in. Let them in, baby.
They're pretty hot right now.
Well, they were, 15th coming in this past week?
Yeah.
You go beat Clemson on the road, and with what else shook out in front of them, I mean, they have a shot to get a bid.
When I went back and, watched all the highlights and stuff on this game, but when I first seen that score, I was like, well, Clemson probably fumbled a few times, maybe bad interceptions, and then you go back and watch it, and actually everything went Clemson's way in this game. But looking at that score before watching it, you would have thought, well, Clemson had a bunch of bad breaks, but really all the bad breaks went South Carolina, and they still come out and won this game 17-14. I'd put my money on them against a couple teams in there.
I think there's going to be 3 SEC teams get in possibly. So,
Well, I think there's either way. Well, I think there's going to be 4.
possible.
Georgia's in.
Georgia's in. Tennessee's in.
Texas is in.
There's the 3. So South Carolina could be the 4. Surely they'll put them in over Alabama.
God, I would think so. I don't know. We talked about it before.
Well, I don't know, man. They what South Carolina's right now is ranked 15th. What Alabama's ranked 13th. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, with Alabama, too, every year they seem to be getting in because everybody wants them in. Not everybody, but
Money.
yeah.
The committee in the
ESPN.
Same reason that them golden helmets get in.
Oh, don't start on my leprechauns.
God.
They're coming up.
Yeah, I hope they get in. I hope they have to travel to Boise, and I hope Boise beats them by 7 touchdowns.
Shoot, yeah.
It's liable to happen.
I hope Ojinti runs for 350 yards on that vaunted Notre Dame defense. That couldn't stop Northern Illinois, the only halfway decent team they played.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel about Notre Dame?
I hate them. I hate them.
How about we talk about a little bit about the Scatterboo, Arizona State, Arizona.
They in the Big 12 championship game was a shot to make the playoff.
I hope they get in. That'll be so fun to watch. There's a lot of teams that need to check the Scatterboo out. That ain't a lot of people that ain't really watched him play.
Yeah, man. This Arizona team or Arizona State, they really good. I mean, they throw the ball good. They run the ball pretty daggone good with Scatterboo, and you got a guy like that you can try to run the clock off with him. I mean, that's a big advantage. Defensively, man, they played some pretty daggone good defense this year in some games.
Yep.
So I mean, they can beat you 2-3 different ways.
My thing with this game too is it's a rivalry game that's usually a pretty close game. I mean, they just went there knowing they had everything to lose, and come out and from the get go like, it don't matter. I mean, I think they're playing as good a ball as anybody right now in the country.
Yeah, you got to love that attitude.
Attitude. Miami, Syracuse. Syracuse done Syracuse things in this one. They get one every year. Big upset, so.
I'm still scratching my head over the field goal rather than going for it on 4th down. Miami.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, me too.
But it seems like, Syracuse is like Aaron said, they'll pull off the biggest upset in the world once a year up there at Syracuse. That's a dangerous place to go play because they can not win a game and then all of a sudden beat a top 10 team up there and look like world beaters just for that one game.
Yep.
You said that, Coach, about the field goal. Miami's had a couple of games this year where in big moments in the fourth quarter there's been some questionable coaching decisions.
And they're talking about he just throws them away in the fourth quarter on a lot of things. With his decision making has not been the best.
A lot of times it's been like, something like not using a timeout here or using one here when you didn't really need to. And
I mean, it makes you want to. What's he thinking? Why is he thinking this way?
Yeah.
I mean, why is this call being called?
I don't know, but
I guess if it worked out for him, everyone would be saying, "Oh, that's a great call."
Yeah. Well, if it had cut it to 3, you'd understood it.
Yeah.
Still need to score a touchdown. Still need to make a stop.
Yep.
Yeah,
it don't do anything for you really, other than put 3 more points on the board. I guess all the traditionalists are happy now
Oh yeah.
because that pretty much eliminated the U from making the playoff.
Are you heavy, dog? You've been on and on all year, not wanting them in there.
Well, I've been on wanting them in, but after that, they don't deserve it. I mean, really.
Yeah,
I like Miami.
I agree with that.
I don't care if they get in there or not, but, I just wish they'd go back and change that one win they got to a loss because we still know they lost to Tech.
That still hurts.
I ain't getting over it. I ain't getting over it.
Also, all this time it's been over that loss that Virginia Tech took to the Miami.
It's just like you go back to them golden helmets. It's cause that big U on there. I ain't getting over it.
Well, they can't be saved now, I don't think.
No, they're eliminated.
California, SMU.
Woo! The real ACC champs, baby. I didn't even know they was in the ACC at the beginning of the year, and they are winning the ACC championship.
This was a conference
it.
game for them, too.
Yeah, can you believe that? California.
Yeah.
It's got an ACC road on their field.
So you got California and a team from Texas playing an Atlantic Coast Conference game. Yeah,
Unreal.
yeah, money.
I think they are going to have to look into this traveling thing, though, somehow. Schedule stuff with it, though.
Well, football's not, football's their moneymaker. The travel thing with football is not that big of a deal. But, like, you go to playing, like, volleyball or basketball or,
Well,
the sports you play 2-3 games a week, and you're flying from Clemson or Virginia Tech to Cal and back.
I get that, but here's the deal with where it comes with football is you got these guys driving these 18-wheelers, getting equipment there that is sitting at the Louisiana line and has been driving 2 days already to get there, and they're only halfway there. You know what I'm saying?
And they're getting paid pretty daggone good to drive.
Well, I'm sure they are, but I'm just saying that's got to be tough to turn them around.
See, my my sister and her husband, they team drive. That'd be perfect for them,
Yeah.
you know.
They should try to get on with like one of them being.
Oh yeah. I could imagine the money, like Grant saying. I guarantee
Yeah,
they're
they
getting
would.
paid big time money.
Yeah, there's too much money in that not to get that football equipment there.
But I agree with Grant. You know, you take like basketball, play 2, maybe 3 games a week. Sometimes they try
Yeah.
to squeeze them in. That's crazy.
Yep.
You know, it's
Yeah, them kids are gonna be doing homework and living in an airport,
yeah.
pretty much. What do y'all think SMU has a shot
I do.
in the playoffs?
I do.
Everybody they've played, they've looked stout against them. I mean, they actually look more consistent than about anybody we've watched all year, as far as week in and week out.
They got that one early loss to BYU. I feel like BYU has fell off some, but it was a close game. And SMU, like you said, they just been chugging along, being SMU. Well, that's the beautiful thing about that this year, and I think you're seeing it because of the transfer portal being the way it is and everything else. You don't have that one team that's just everybody's chasing, and as long as that team don't go out and lay an egg, they're going to win it. You know, we don't have that this year. This playoff's going to be interesting.
Definitely.
It's crazy seeing this many teams, that many losses. You know, thinking that a 10-3 team. That's playoff team right there. When
that
years
goes back-
ago they'd
yeah.
been eliminated, gone.
That goes back to scheduling too, though. Back years ago, you know, you'd schedule. Well, if you played in the SEC or one of those, you know, tougher conferences, you do your conference schedule, and you might schedule one tough non-conference game. But now you ain't even having to do that because, man, the way they're stacking these schedules, for the way these conferences are stacked up. I mean, look at even the Big 10.
Yeah.
You know, Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State.
Yep. I think SMU definitely has speed on the outside to match up with a lot of them. I think the interior is where they're going to run into a problem when they get into like meeting some of the SEC schools or even like the Big 12 or whatever.
Well, they're going to have to, if they win in the playoffs, it's going to be a 45-42 game. It's not going to be a 14 to
No, it
10 game.
ain't gonna be no big time blowout, but they're gonna have to put up a lot of points to beat teams. I mean, to me they're gonna be a Cinderella team. You know, I don't expect them to win it all, but I believe they can get in there and do some damage.
They can knock somebody out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're that type of team that could, I believe. Auburn, Alabama.
Milrow. When they run Milrow, they're a different team. And they ran Milrow.
Man, did you see the post-game interview with him? That kid's arms are like huge.
His whole body, man. He's a running back that can throw the ball. I mean, he really is just a.
He's huge, man. He really is. Like, I didn't realize he was gunning that big, you know?
Yeah. He's the type of guy, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see him put a new quarterback in and just leave him in there at running back.
Yeah.
He's a playmaker. Well, Alabama won, so none of us really cares about the Alabama State and what goes on there. But Notre Dame, USC, come on, dog.
How about them leprechauns, baby? Woo! 49-35, Notre Dame.
Oh my gosh, what a win against a 6-5
Hey,
team.
stack up another big win for them, baby.
Had 200-yard pick sixes?
Yeah. Against a 6-5 team. Woo.
Be careful now.
Woo.
Nobody wants to face them in the playoffs.
Oh, I beg for them in the first round if I'm.
they're
in
so
there.
good.
You better not, because, you know, we didn't talk about it before. That's the luck of the Irish, baby. They'll win one way or another.
That's true. Yeah.
Remind him what the luck of the Irish is, Kirby.
You don't want to mess with touchdown Jesus.
Lord, no.
Yeah, the luck of the Irish usually has on stripes and a yellow flag in their back pocket.
That is true. But we
is
ain't
it-
promised what Jesus is going to come to look like here. You know what I mean?
Is it yellow or gold?
In their instance, probably gold.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll make the playoff and
One and out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You think so?
Yep. And they're going to set it up too, where they're going to try to host a game in South Bend.
If they host the game, they might win the first one. Depending.
Unless it's an SEC school.
Yeah, if it's an SEC school, they get blown.
If it's one of the things we talked about in the SEC getting in, it'll be close for 3 quarters, and then
I'd love to see it be South
if
Carolina.
if it is South, I don't know that South Carolina goes to South Bend and wins.
you didn't know if they'd go to Clemson to win. They did.
But you're going to South Bend in the wintertime. That makes a difference, bro. That makes a huge difference.
I don't know. You went to Clemson and everything went Clemson's way, and you still
Let me ask you
somehow
this
pulled
quick.
it
Have you ever
out.
been in Indiana in the wintertime?
Yeah.
I have too. It's cold. It's like the coldest place I believe I've ever been, even over Bluefield.
The amount of money them boys are making, no, they'll be all right. They can buy them some cold weather gear.
I went to Chicago one time. I just couldn't figure out why in the world Michael Jordan wanted to stay up there that long.
Was you there in the wintertime? It's the same thing.
Oh, yeah, it was-
South
it
Bend
was
and
the
Illinois
wintertime.
is really close to one another. I think Chicago to South Bend's only an hour or something like that.
Close. But yeah, they'll get in. They might host a game, but it ain't gonna be pretty for them. I'd like to see Georgia go up there.
Oh man, first round get Georgia would be awesome.
Or even Texas.
I'd rather be Georgia. I think Georgia would handle them a little more fierce.
Georgia has the best big game coach in college football since Saban retired.
I agree with that. Texas A&M.
Hook 'em horns, baby. It's an old school rival game. Texas 17, A&M 7.
What's the rival called again?
A state full of hate.
Yep,
State full of hate.
I'll just be honest with you. I thought A&M sort of played pretty good in this game.
I
Considering
expected it. First time they'd played since 2011, and it's that old school rivalry. It's at A&M, so and A&M, we've talked about it before. They got more 5-stars on their rosters than most college teams.
yeah.
But they, I think Arch Manning had to come in. Ewers went out or something. Arch Manning had to come in the 4th quarter and let a touchdown drive. That's the beautiful thing for Texas is Ewers goes out. Most teams lose their starting quarterback like that. There's a pretty significant drop, and there's still a little bit of a drop to Arch Manning, but it's not much.
And that's expected when you're not out there with the starting unit all
Yeah.
the time. You got to expect a little bit of a drop off, you know.
But you don't see much of a drop off.
No, but you imagine what he could do if he's out there every week with the starting unit.
we'll find out next year.
Oh yeah.
Washington, Oregon. The human highlighters.
Number 1, go Ducks, baby. Absolutely tore Washington up. 49-21.
Yeah, this game was close for a quarter,
Yeah.
and then Oregon, man. I guess if there's one team that's been the most consistent this year, it's Oregon. They're still, you can see where they're beatable, but they've been the most consistent, just handling business.
Oregon still kind of worries you with their size up front because, I mean, they got dudes. I mean, they always got dudes up front, but they're always undersized for most teams.
Yep.
Well, they like that speed, man.
But that's why they fly around too. You know, I mean, you pick your pools, and you know.
That's one thing that Dan Lanning has brought, though, coming from Georgia, is he's bringing some of that size. He's getting some of those guys up there. But they've just been handling business. I mean, they've been sort of like Rye Cove this year, and sometimes it ain't pretty, but a win's a win. I mean,
At this point in the year, that's all you look for,
that's
right?
it.
Yep. All right. Virginia Tech. Doggy Hokies are going bowling, baby. Woo!
They wanted the PapaJohns.com bowl.
They're still going bowling. And if you're a team and you're trying to recruit, you want to be practicing when the recruits is coming there after season, baby.
Yeah, and it's kind of like we talked a while back about these playoff teams. You know, you talking about teams like Union and Graham and other teams like that that's good in, year out. And I'm like, well, they're getting a whole nother month of practicing, hitting, everything. I mean, that's a big advantage when you're getting that, you know, at least a month's worth more than other schools around you, and getting younger guys in there to get ready for the next upcoming year. It's kind of like a head start on everybody. No matter, you know, if you go 3, 4, or go all the way to state.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So your Hokies, buddy. You know, I this rival doesn't mean as much anymore to me because when you're sitting there watching this game and they're explaining to you that they have to explain to a team what the rival means, I mean, it's done.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
what
it's
is
not
it?
the same.
Virginia won in the last 25, 26 years.
I get that, but I mean, still, Virginia ought to know what this rival means.
Yeah, but it's like I told you, Tech could, you know, be 0-10. Virginia still couldn't go in there and beat them. Just can't do it, baby. The Hoosiers. But now, I tell you, this is Papa John's first start. I'm just kidding. Papa Watts' first start, and him and Tootin, man, in that backfield, both of them dudes is quick. And I think that's a dangerous combination. And I tell you, I've been on this Papa Watts guy since last year. You know, I think he throws a beautiful deep ball, you know, and he reminds me so much of Tyrod Taylor in the way he plays and stuff and the way he runs. And, you know, I think it's looking at your future right here at Tech.
Well, it had to be because otherwise they're going to be going to the portal looking, you know. So this is a game he had to really shine in to say, hey, you know, I'm here, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to go looking for somebody right yet, you know. What is he, like a sophomore?
Yeah. Which I don't know. He may have redshirted last year. But he couldn't be no more than a sophomore. But
I think it may be
I
like
was,
a red shirt sophomore or something, maybe.
you know, he really excited me last year and early in the spring practices and stuff like that. And I thought it was going to be the next man up. And then they brought this other kid in, and I was like, what are they doing that for? They've got a good one right there. Why bring another one in, put in front of them? And but the more he gets reps with that starting offense, I think the better he's going to look.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, what is the deal with Drones? He hadn't played since Clemson game.
I don't know if he pulled a hammy or what he's done.
Didn't he hurt his shoulder?
I'm not sure. Do you?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure on that one. But this will be my next man I'll be looking forward to right here.
Yeah, he done really good. He really did. He controlled the offense well, and he didn't make what you scared of making those stupid plays. He pulled it down. He tucked it. He didn't force stuff. Things you want to see as a young guy, you know.
That's
Yeah,
easy to do when you're playing a JV team.
Well, I mean, still.
JV. Did y'all both pick Virginia this week?
No.
Y'all sure?
Absolutely. Are you crazy?
I'll have to go back and listen to it.
I pick every but I that I think there's going to be who the winner's going to be, except Notre Dame. I will never pick Notre Dame.
Oh my goodness. Well, boys, guess what time it is? College football championship weekend picks. Up first, we have the Big 12. Iowa State versus Arizona State. Come on with it, Grampus.
You know where I'm going. I've been on that Scatterboo train for about 6 weeks now. Give me the Sun Devils. I'm like coach over there. I've always kind of like I used to remember Jake the Snake Plumber and Pat Tillman and those guys. I like the Arizona State then. I'm gonna stay with them.
Give me Arizona State 50-0.
Whoa, man!
Big,
Are you being for real?
big.
I'll say 50-12.
50-12. You can
Coach,
play.
what you got, bud?
No, I got Arizona State too. I don't know if they're going to score 50, but especially 50-0. But
That's a big statement, ain't
it
it?
is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going with Scatterboo in this one as well. Up next, we have the SEC. We have Georgia versus Texas.
I just said it. Kirby Smart's the best big game coach in the nation since Saban retired, and now they're going to get Texas in this one. I feel. I know it's a hard pick because of the way they've been playing, but man, Georgia just seems in these games like this, it seems like Georgia shows up big.
I know I picked Texas first of the year, and Georgia just first half just come out and blew them away. I think Georgia's off the juice. I'm going with the Longhorns again, baby. Go Longhorns.
They might be back on the juice this week.
Nah, they about got took out. They off that juice. They saving it. He's saving that for the playoffs.
I don't know about that, Coach.
He feeding them no more gunpowder.
Yeah, I'm going Texas too. I'm not a Georgia fan.
I'm not either, but man, it's hard to knock him.
And I get what you're saying about the coach. I just think there isn't a lot of inconsistencies with their play, and I'm going with Texas.
I'm going with the Bulldogs in this one myself.
They can't do it twice. They can't do it twice.
Well, if Georgia don't win this, are they out?
No, I think Georgia's the only team that can lose a conference championship and still make it in.
With 3 losses.
They'll
be the only 3
with
losses.
the resume they've got, because at the worst, then they've split with Texas.
I got you.
That's the worst thing they have on their resume is they split with Texas.
Okay, I agree with that. Big Ten, we got Penn State versus Oregon.
Give me Oregon 63-12. Penn State's going to kick 4 field goals because they can't score touchdowns.
They scored a lot this week, didn't they?
Who'd they play?
I didn't say that, but they scored.
Washington, wasn't it?
No, Penn State.
Oh. Give me Oregon. I'll take Oregon. Probably 55-12.
Are you going on the field goals or what? Come on, Kerry Cox.
Man,
Thompson.
all these high-scoring offenses, right? I'm going Oregon too, but not that high. I'm going to go 35-17.
That sounds more reasonable.
35-10 sounds reasonable.
I'll go 42-24.
Penn State ain't scoring 24 points in a game.
That's the reaction I wanted.
They barely scored 20. They scored, 26 against a very talented Minnesota Golden Gophers team.
Okay, I'll go 42-20.
Maybe. Yeah, Oregon probably put the second team in once they got it wrapped up.
Your statement just cost him 4 points.
Yeah.
It sure did. It sure did. All right, we are at the ACC Clemson versus SMU.
I'm going Mustangs because I think they're the better team. And dear God, I do not want Dabo Swinney and Clemson in this playoff.
Cry, baby, cry.
Why do you cry, baby, cry, baby? I'm going with them Mustangs, baby. That's your new ACC champs.
I'm going with SMU too.
I'm going with SMU too. I'm excited about watching them get in the playoffs and just kind of seeing where they do fit and how they match up and everything. I mean, are we going to say big or not? Because I really do think they probably win this game pretty big.
I think they can. I think they can win it big. I don't know.
Clemson's coming off of a loss, though.
Yeah.
I think 2 touchdowns. I give them 2 touchdowns
Yeah, I'd say it's a
on
2-score
Clemson.
game.
Does that mean 72-50 or what?
Well, I mean,
It's
Clemson didn't
possible.
score what, 17 points at 14.
Something like that.
Yeah, Clemson ain't gonna score over 21.
Coach can probably remember a time when SMU was actually like an Alabama or and I think this is awesome to have a team like that starting to get back up into that.
Are you trying to throw an age joke here?
No, not at all. I don't remember it, but I know Eric Dickerson and all those guys went to SMU for a reason back in the day.
That's true.
All I can say is SMU, them boys for real.
I mean, what SMU did back then is legal now.
Exactly.
Well, boys, what do you say we get into a little bit of high school football and we'll turn Gary loose here a little bit and let him talk to us and everything. So, Gary, welcome to the podcast again, buddy.
Thank you.
Great year you guys have had.
Haven't there.
Are having everything. Region D champions heading into state semifinals. It's been what 24 years since it's had it, and the community's all excited. I mean, you guys have the last 3 years have gave them a lot to be excited for and everything. And here we are heading into, a new milestone for them and everything that hadn't happened in a while and everything. So congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Well, we'll get started with, I guess we'll talk a little bit about this past week's game and everything coming in. You guys had Eastside in the region championship. I think that was a game that a lot of us had anticipated earlier in the year that it was probably going to end up being a rematch. And then the way things kind of worked out, we thought you might see them earlier than the Region D, but then the way things worked out at the end, it's just so happened that you guys, and I think it's fitting that it was for the Region D championship and everything. If you don't mind, just let us know a little bit on how this game unfolded for you guys.
Yeah, it's real good to have 2 Cumberland District teams in the regional title. The way that 1 through 8 fell, all 3 district champions fell on our side of the bracket. So, our path wasn't easy. Going through Roe Retreat and Grundy and then Eastside. So, like we talked about on the college level a while ago, it's hard to beat a team twice. It always seems like that second time it's a hard task, and wasn't nothing different Friday night. They came ready to play. We were ready. They were ready, and what a great ball game. Hard fought all the way through the first half. I thought we made some halftime adjustments to help us play a better second half, and last 4 minutes of that game was pretty exciting for everybody, for our kids, and I can't say enough about them. They never quit. We had a couple opportunities on that double deflected pass, and after we just took the lead with a little under 4 minutes to go, we could have quit, and we did nothing but play harder, and it turned out good for us there at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of game. I mean, a lot of times you kind of want to have this kind of game too. It just helps you, moving forward a little bit as well. Grant, you got a question for him, buddy? That
That Coke's coming home. Yeah, it was sort of like what Aaron was talking about, this type of game. Do you feel like maybe this is a good game confidence-wise? I mean, you beat them in the regular season, but this was a classic game. Like we were all talked about. People are going to talk about this game for years. Do you think this, going forward to now some teams that you're not familiar with and your kids have not really heard about, this gives them a little bit more confidence, like, hey, we can scrap and claw, and not that they couldn't, but now they really had a test here going into the state semifinals. You think that propels you guys a little bit more?
I do. It reminds me during the later part of the season when we played Johowie.
Right.
We survived that game, made some adjustments the next week, and you see a little different attitude from the kids, knowing that it's not a cakewalk no matter who you're playing, and anybody can beat you at any time. East side, always a tough out for us. Got that good group of sophomores that played hard, and I think it does matter when we know that team, we know the rivalry, and because the social media and all these kids know each other, and you get the spatting back and forth. So that's part of it. So I think playing a team that we don't know personally, but just know the record. We watch a lot of film. And playing any close game like that has to propel us forward and has to get us ready for the next week.
That's what I was kind of trying to ask. Was it it gives you that, now you're getting a dogfight up here with Grayson County next week, for example. You've been here, done this. Hey guys, remember last week? It propels you.
It's easy. We win a lot of games this year before we were losing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ever good to be behind, but when you can come back, two different times there, especially late in the game, it does give us a lot of confidence.
That was a heck of a game Friday, man. It was.
Yeah, man. As a fan, as a spectator, whatever, that's the kind of games you want to see in these playoffs. And
I'd hate to be in your shoes, but from where I was at, it was awesome.
Well, sometimes it's not good for the old ticker, but we got that kickoff return after they scored on that deflected pass, and returned it past the 50, and I thought we had a good chance there. Made some good plays. We actually run something we worked on this past week, and some drills we worked on, and it just came together. That last drive, we threw the ball well. I think we had 4 completions, and but then again, 25 seconds ago when we score, and they're throwing it in the zone at the end of the game too. So good, hard-fought game, and sometimes I wish they were a little easier for the ticker, but we was glad to come out on top.
Yeah, I was talking to Grant, and I think, going back even to the playoff game last year that you guys had with Eastside, that when something bad happened to Eastside and how they had panicked, we kind of saw that in that game. Once they snapped the ball over the head and got the safety, it was kind of like they panicked, they fell apart, and then in the regular season game, it's a close game right there, and then one thing goes wrong, and then they panic kind of, and and it snowballed on them. Or, this game here, opening kickoff goes for a touchdown. They don't panic, then they're driving and then fumble the ball, and it's like they didn't panic this time, and that was a big difference in this game. And I mean, hats off to both teams, man. Was an awesome game. I mean, it truly was.
Yeah, you go back to that regular season game, it's close in the fourth quarter, maybe 16-6 maybe, and then we end up scoring 3 times in 3 minutes or something like that. So, yeah. And the reason that happened is we forced them to do a little bit. They was out of their comfort zone late in the game, had to score 2 or 3 times quick. So, and their quarterback, that freshman, I said at the time when we played him in the regular season, it's probably his best game. And he's improved each week. It was a hard-fought game, and didn't expect anything different out of Eastside.
As also as a fan, I feel like that rivalry is becoming it's going to be really great for the Cumberland and the Southwest Virginia football, because I feel like we've been missing those
type of atmospheres, and
lock you last man out of town, turn your lights off.
Yeah.
We're going up there. There's always going to be a lot of weight on that game, and it's just awesome to have that back, and then have it in a playoff atmosphere with the region title on the line. It would have been back in our day if Powell Valley and Appalachia could have met in the playoffs.
Right.
It would have been, it kind of had that kind of feel like.
Well, from us traveling around all year, going to all these different schools and stuff. I mean, you don't see communities traveling the way that Eastside has, the way that Rocco has to ball games. I mean, me and Kermit was at Grundy, and here they are playing a team, Honaker, at their home field, and it was like quiet as a mouse.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean they're beating the far out of Honaker here. I mean,
Yeah, you'd have beaten the Region D champs last year, and the crowd just as quiet as all get out, and the kids are like, "Hey, come on!" And it's like,
trying to get them up.
man, this is one of the quietest crowds. Them kids are doing something impressive out there. You figured that their crowd would have been cheering for them, hollering for them, going crazy, you know. But they act like it was just a normal day thing, just sitting there with their hands crossed. And
Well, one of the things you won't find here is anybody being quiet. This is exciting atmosphere here, and I know you've seen it. Anybody, a lot of people's talking about it, but they've bought into these kids, and these kids. I mean, I know every coach says it, but these kids have busted their tails, and this community has wrapped their arms around these kids and what we're doing here. And Friday nights here are electric. That's why we're just glad to get the highest points in the state so we can host these games. And it's kind of our 12th man. We give a 12th man award jersey each week to people that support us, and really our 12th man is that crowd that's sitting out there and the things that how they're behind us and cheer us on no matter what, and these kids deserve it.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. They're doing something great here, and it's like you're saying, they deserve every bit of it. And speaking of, you was talking about the quarterback for Eastside, that's when I really noticed him. I was like, man, this kid's getting drilled in that first game y'all played, and I was like, he's still standing in the pocket and still trying to throw the ball downfield. And first time he throwed it that game, I know I can't remember which kid it was, but he had his arm up throwing and come in and really stuck it in that kid's ribs. And I thought he was hurt bad, but he stuck it out, kept throwing that whole game. And that's when I was like, this freshman's going to be something right here. He's still toughing it out. He's still staying in there, and he's still trying to throw it downfield.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your quarterback, Coach. I call him Joe Cool because he seems like, man, nothing bothers him.
He is so even keeled no matter what the game situation is. Look at what the throw he made.
Yeah,
scrambling out of the pocket there to win the ball game the other day. He's just so cool and calm and collective when it's games on the line. He's just always that way. And man, what a player, what a kid. He's we kind of jump on his shoulders. There's a couple of them we do that way, but Landon just guides us to where we need to be.
And I'm sure him being the way he is, that calmness radiates to the rest of the team in those moments.
It does. It just calms the whole team, and they look at him and see no panic, and it's kind of contagious. It really is. And having a good year, stat-wise, he's having a heck of a year.
Yeah.
Well, I was noticing him there. It was like, 30, 40 seconds to go, you guys are down. And, like, he's looking over, I guess, at you or whoever's calling this offense and stuff.
Give me a play.
He's just standing there, like, looking at it. It's like he's not panicked. He finally gets what is going on. He not turns around to him and throws a goddamn touchdown pass. And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he did not. I mean, you can tell that he was just as calm right then as he was, kickoff time,
He's just been that way all year, and he knows the play's coming. It'll get there in time. So he was just, we're trying to get our wits together on what we wanted to call, and he's ready for it and always delivers, it seems like.
Yeah. Does he ever give you a tip? Let's do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's out there in the middle of it, and he sees what's going on, and yeah, absolutely. He comes back with some things he sees, and he's not the only one. We got other people that come to sidelines and say, this is what we need to do. This is open and stuff. And it's kind of nice to have that when you got some leadership like that.
Yeah. You can tell. I mean, he is a leader and knows the game really good. I mean, he's not just a player. He's a student of the game. You can tell that.
He's gave everything he's had since 3 years ago when I met him. He just never took a snap under center, embraced that position, and worked his butt off to get at the awards and accolades he's getting. And like I said, his stats, he's got 47 touchdowns. He just leads this team, and I can't be more proud of him.
Yeah. What I like the most is like in some of this offense that you guys run, how he's handing the ball off and still getting out there and throwing lead blocks, man. And I mean, he ain't just throwing a little block. He is absolutely lighting some people up.
Yeah, I believe it was the Honaker game when the only really bad possession we had there when we gave up the safety. There ain't too many times you get a holding penalty on your quarterback, which I still don't agree with the call, but that's another story.
Well, that's what we was talking about when we watched y'all get Honaker, and I told her, and I said, how can you play a team and the only person get a holding call is your quarterback because he's out there lead blocking,
and he ain't walking, he ain't playing around. Neither.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a full head of steam. He's bringing it. So.
He definitely is bringing it.
But I agree 100% with you. I watched that play over and over. I didn't see no holding on it, but. Did you teach him how to backpedal and throw that ball off his back leg like that for a touchdown?
No, not backpedaling. I tried to get him to run to the sidelines a little bit, but running backwards is not a good play for anybody.
That was a heck of a throw to be backpedaling like he was, trying to get away from them defenders and keep his eyes downfield and throw.
He's been good at that all year, extending the play, and which caused us to work on something this past week that's really helped him. And, he extended each play like that, and it always helps.
Amazing throw. But I just, I love to say is that was championship ball, and the thing I loved about it is neither team had no quit. Right down to the last second, there was no quit. Both teams believed they could win it,
exactly.
and they played to the very last second.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about Will Rollins here.
Oh, man. What a man among boys. He's just, and I think of Will, I just think of the weight room immediately, how hard he has worked and how hard he runs the ball at the fullback position, and then how much he blocks. He blocks every play, and he's very selfless. He don't care who scores, who carries the ball, and just one of Landon's best friends because of the way he blocks for him. And but we got a few of those kids in Carter Roach and then our speedy running back. So all these kids play for each other and they know their job. But Will, I can sit here and talk about what he does on offense, but he had 22 tackles Friday at the linebacker position. What a leader! It's a reason why he's the returning region player of the year. Just plays hard, knows the game, and another great leader for us.
Yeah. Me and Kermit's talked about how they've been a game or two that he's just kind of set the tone, making a big hit on defense, a big stop on defense, and he's definitely a kid that's going to let you know.
I mentioned that the Grundy game when he hit the quarterback Lester in that hole and come up pretty excited. Next play they throw an interception. So, he lets you know when he does something good, and hopefully he lets us know a lot more than less. How about that?
Yeah.
I thought you was right about. I agree to everything you said about y'all, the one seed, and end up getting the toughest picks out of the bunch. I thought right off the bat y'all got Royal Retreat, and I think Royal Retreat's one of them teams you just don't know how they're going to show up.
Exactly.
And when they showed up down here and they run that first run or two for a touchdown, and then they held y'all and got the ball back, I felt like the crowd was kind of getting a little quiet. And then I told Aaron, I said, man, Will just come up and stuck that dude right at the line of scrimmage. And I said, he about broke him in half. And I said, that's when the game, it seemed like the whole game changed after that. Royal Retreat was doing a little this, a little that, and after he stuck that kid, it was like y'all couldn't do no wrong after that.
What's good about that was the second play of the game. They get on our outside, and we missed to fill the right spot, and they go to distance, and it's like a gut check. How are we going to react? Again, they stopped us first time we had the ball, and what are we going to do? How are we going to react? And that hit made a difference. It really did.
I told Aaron, I said, I believe that just flipped the switch on the whole game right there.
Because after that,
everything just went Rocco's way after that one.
Well, that's the thing that I think that when you took over here, everybody knows where the program was at, but the way you've built it is on that old school physicality. We're going to play in the trenches. We're going to hit you until you're tired of getting hit, and that's how we're going to win. and that's proven that it still wins at any level.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that some schools, other schools that we see, East Side's starting to get that same thing. Rhodes is getting that implemented there. Union's had it for a few years now. It seems like they have really good, just consistent line play. Talk about some of your linemen, Coach, and because man, you got some horses up there.
Well, again, I'll go back. It starts in the weight room. Coach Sayers has done a really good job with them. And that's kind of where we've hung our hat. Up front, power football. Let's run behind our guys. That's bigger, better, faster, stronger. And that's kind of our mentality. I'll tell a little story on myself. 2 weeks ago, I was sitting here with Coach Norris, and I said, I'm getting ready to say something to you I thought I would never say. And he said, what's that? I said, we may not throw the football tonight. I like throwing it a little more around than we have been, but we got to get in that position to where our bread and butter is where we're better than you up front. We're power football. Here we come. But we are capable, as you've seen the last drive against Eastside. We don't do it a whole lot, but we're capable. And but we got some seniors up front. We're going to hate to lose after this season in graduation. But Clayton Austin at center is just solid for us. Trevor Darnell, just number 78 for us. He just one of our captains, works hard, good leader. And, of course, you can't leave out Ethan Lawson, the sophomore, 6'5" and 305, and works hard. And he went from when I was first here, I still tell the story of him benching 200 pounds in the weight room as an 8th grader and jumping around like he had won the lottery. He was so excited. Now he's pushing close to 450 in 2 years. That's over 100 pounds a year. And it's just because of the work these kids put in. And, you got Cooper Bowen on the other side and Griffey Williams and Caden Bishop. Them guys they work hard and they really believe in what we're doing, and they work side by side, rib to rib sometimes we put it, and push people around. One of our best plays in the last couple of years has been our quarterback sneak. We're better than you, here we come, and that's kind of been our mentality.
I missed so many plays Friday night by watching the battle with Darnell and Jasir. Mm-hmm. I got hung up watching that, and I bet you I missed a whole quarter of football. Because, man, them two kids was just going at each other.
Yeah, they I think got a little bit personal at one time. They were taking it personal, and it was a good battle all the way to the end.
That's just good old school physics. It does get a little personal, and that's what. It was. I got hung up watching that, and I'd be like, oh, well, what they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, helmet came off one time.
Yeah,
I remember that on a good battle. I've seen it on film. So.
And I've watched y'all and. Like that first game y'all played against Eastside, I think really what dominated that game was y'all getting off the ball.
Yeah.
And I think in an Eastside come this time, they was like, hey, we better get off the ball.
And they did. They did. And they brought them linebackers. And, heck, number 12, the Hamilton kid's a good middle linebacker. He reads them guards good and comes downhill. And we knew that. They're going to stack the box, but still – 3 quarters, 3+ quarters, we're better than you up front, and we're going to do what we do, and it worked out for us.
But I try to explain that to a lot of kids. It's the big key up front is just getting off the ball. You got to beat the other team off the ball if you want to push them around and do what you want to do. And
we talk all the time about offensively. The snap count. That's your advantage right there.
Yeah.
So you should be the first one off the ball all the time, but then do something when you get there.
But I love how quick y'all's guys are to get off the ball every game. Just getting off the ball. That helps you dominate up front.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Carter Roach. I know he dressed this week. We got a little bit on defense and everything, probably precautionary on offense and stuff, maybe. But he's proved to have been big for you this year in the backfield too and everything.
Yeah, I hate to see anybody get hurt on any team, but this late in the year it really hurt when he went down a couple weeks ago. Didn't play him at all on offense, but what we miss out of him, you see him carrying the ball and he does well with that, but his blocking on offense is just just been key for us, getting them speedy backs behind all them linemen and Carter and their quarterback. But, yeah, we set him out on offense, played a few plays on defense, trying to be precautionary, and mainly he played because he wanted to play. His injuries each day we get without playing, about having to play him a lot and him take a lot of licks is going to make him heal. This week I'm hoping he'll be back close to 100%, so we're back on both sides of the ball and playing hard for us. But he's played hard all year. He's a hard-nosed kid, good weight room guy, big, thick kid that runs hard, and one of our leaders, another captain for us.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question. You can answer if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. But when it, I guess there was a minute or two left, you guys were still behind. I noticed him. Was he was over there? Was he trying to get in?
He's trying to get in the whole game. Absolutely.
Was that because I saw him in the ear going like,
yeah,
I thought he was.
I talked to his parents, pregame on what we should do here. But Carter is 18 years old, and that's basically the difference here. The doctor left it up to him what he wants to do. His mom said it'd kill him if he didn't play, and she was okay with whatever we decided to do or what he wanted to do. And personally, I don't want to see any kid get hurt or get hurt again. But I know he wanted to play, and hopefully this week we can go straight forward where he's back to normal both sides of the ball.
Well, how hard was it to be like, look, dude, just because you're thinking too with 2 minutes to go, there's no guarantee that there's going to be a tomorrow either.
And that's what you feel when Carter's in your face looking at you saying, put me in, and that's what you see, and that's what he's feeling. He says, I don't want this to be the end of this run that we've got going on, and he's said that to me. He wants to be a part of it, and I told him he's a part of it if he's hurt in a wheelchair or whatever he is. He's got us to where we are, and very proud of him. And that's you've seen right. He was dying to get in the ball game.
I thought he was. I was like, man, that kid is wanting in there so bad. He's like, put me in right now, coach.
Well, it was so bad he was sending me plays on the phone today, so little video clips on what we could do better here, and so he's playing Coach Carter Roach today. So, but he's one of our key guys.
Man, that's awesome. I mean, you don't really see kids like that anymore on a lot,
Right.
out there. And when you have kids like that on your team, that makes it very, very special. I think the teams that you see it on is the teams that still playing or just got done playing kind of teams,
Well, Carter's got a good family history of Ryco football with his brothers being very hard-nosed, and he's the same way. So he's just carrying that family tradition, and he's good for us. He's a good teammate, good leader.
Yep. Anybody else you guys want to speak of?
I'm not good with names, Coach, but how important is it that nobody even hardly knows who that kid is? And I've had 100 people ask me, who's this number 7? Where'd he come from? And they don't realize he played. I think he broke his collarbone against Honaker.
He did. We had a little tailback competition there at the beginning of the year, and Blake Goins is who we're talking about, number 7. He won that competition, playing hard for us. Unfortunately, just fell on the turf the wrong way at Honaker and broke that collarbone. Had some issues with the injury, and it's splintered the bone a little bit and messed with the nerve. And he's just such a hard worker. He worked so hard, got back. He was actually could have played in the last couple of games of the regular season, but we set him out getting him ready for the playoffs. But what I noticed about him when he come back is those fresh legs and that extra step that he's got. That he's not tired. It's a long season when you're counting preseason, you're above 15 weeks of playing football.
Yeah.
But great kid, runs hard. He opened the kickoff back. It's always good to see. And that extra gear that he's got because he's not tired.
I just think it's funny. Everybody's like, where'd this kid come from? And it's like, well, he's been there all year. He just broke his collarbone. But he's a littler sized guy, but I swear he seems so daggone tough.
Pound for pound, if we had some kind of Iron Man competition here with push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups, he's going to win it because he's just that type of kid. Works hard. He's learned a lot this year. Got some good guys up front. That always helps. But Blake is hard-nosed and will do anything we ask.
So what grade's he?
He's a junior.
Junior?
Yeah.
Good deal. Number 14.
Best hands on the team. I'm not saying that just because he caught that pass, but he's our leading receiver.
I've noticed he don't miss many.
And not many. He missed one that sticks out because of recent film watches. He missed the one against Eastside our first time, but then we come back with the same play a couple minutes later, makes a better catch than anything. He leads us in touchdowns, receptions, and not real big in size as a tight end, but he plays that tight end position when we're in double tight. But yeah, made a great adjustment on the route that won the ball game the other day. And if you're going to throw to somebody there at the end of the game with the hands he's got, that's who you want to catch it to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Luke Jesse.
He's pretty fast too, ain't he?
He is. He's pretty smooth at what he does, and he's a junior, so we got him back next year too. So
I thought on that last play there when he threw that pass to him that he could easily quit, give up on it, because looking in the backfield at your quarterback about ready to get sacked, and he still was conscious enough to know, hey, he's going to be all right. I'm going to keep running.
yeah, fortunately, he wasn't the one that looked in the backfield. I think the defender did just for a split second.
Yeah.
Still well covered. Landon couldn't have went out there and handed it to him any better.
He dropped it right in the bread basket.
did,
That was
he
a
did.
wonderful pass.
It was.
But Luke would have went up and caught that pass. He's been good for us all year. Very proud of him.
Now when Eastside was coming down the field and they threw the ball, it got tipped twice. And then all of a sudden you seen Hamilton behind everybody and it landed right in his hands. Did that take your breath away right there?
It did. I think it was Trent that caught that ball.
Was it Trent?
Not Hamilton, but went right through a linebacker's hands. Should have been picked there. And then, kid's just playing. He tips it again, and all the places it could have went right where he was standing. And with his speed, I said we're in trouble when he caught it. It brought back some bad memories when I played losing the game on a tip pass one time. And but we didn't panic. Watched they kicked off and we run it to their 46. So kind of quickly forgot about that and went to business. And
I think that kickoff return was bigger than what people realize.
it is.
It was huge. It was bigger than the opening kickoff touchdown.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you said.
Way bigger. Way bigger.
So we go. Now we can't get 3 yards of carry. We've got less than a minute to go and a little over a minute to play, and we run the same play 2 times in a row to get the first down with the Jesse boy. Little out route there on the sidelines. He got out of bounds the second time, and then we just noticed how they was playing our inside guys. So we run a 10-yard curl on the third play and complete it, and then of course kind of something we kind of worked on this week on that last play that turned out good for us.
Shoot, yeah.
That's when I was watching the game. That's what I said whenever they returned. Whenever I saw you got it across the 50, I said they had a shot either way, but now there's a really good shot of them, scoring right here because with the time and everything that you had, you kind of you needed a short field anyway.
Well, what a lot of people don't think about it is because the game goes and sometimes you're out of position during the second half and have to burn a timeout. We had 3 timeouts too,
Yeah.
so 25 seconds is a long time. Of course, it plays the other way too. I didn't realize till after the game that was actually 3rd and 1. As a coach, you're probably thinking get a first down, but I'm looking at the clock with 25 seconds, so it worked out for us.
I think it was a good time to go score.
Yeah, I thought that was really big at return too. I was like,
Yeah.
they just opened the door back up, and you give Rocco that good a field position.
Well, just think about the no quit from both sides of the ball on these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we scored with 3-something to go. Thought we left too much time. They could have quit. They didn't. The tip pass, we could have quit. We didn't. And then we scored 25 seconds, and they didn't quit. They're on our 30 or something, 25.
Like you said, throwing in the end zone at the end of the game. Yeah, I was watching it. I said, if they get, we were kind of talking about it. Said a good return right here because there's a difference as a player. And then you sit back, minute left, and have to go 60 yards, 65 yards versus 40 yards, or something about being across that 50 already.
Well, the other thing is how football is a game of momentum.
Yeah.
We return it to the 40, but somebody lays him out, and all that hype and all that jumping around, and just look what we done. I'm sure when we crossed the 50, it deflated them a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's just a game of momentum. We got a good return there, and it worked out.
Well, yep. Now we're heading to state semifinals.
Exciting times.
Exciting times to be a Rigo War Eagle right now, and you got Grayson County coming to town, and everything. So let us know a little bit of what you saw on them so far.
Well, we watched a little bit before our game. They played early on Friday, and watched them play Bath a little bit, and of course couldn't concentrate too much on it with our game coming up. So felt pretty good about what we were seeing first quarter there, and but now that things have settled down and got to study a little bit of film, they're better than I thought they were when I first looked at them. Scary team, big up front, a lot of athletes. So, you know, at this stage of the game, you're not going to face anybody that you can just walk over. So,
No, absolutely not.
So, you know, we're going to work tomorrow with the kids. As coaches had a meeting today, and we're already on what we want to do, and we'll work hard this week and prepare like we always do. And now that we're playing on Saturday, we got an extra day to prepare, and only that I can guarantee is on Saturday we'll be here and we'll be ready to play.
You think that's going to be because I know so many teams are teams of habit. Do you think that's going to be an adjustment for your kids, or you kind of already prepared them for that?
Well, I think we'll be okay. But while we've been playing on Friday nights, because of that habit, we want to stay in our routine and what we do, and we try to do that. It kind of throws a loop when your kids are out of school.
Yeah.
We got out early Tuesday, so we had a 1:30 practice. Kind of throws you out of the routine. You don't like that as a coach, but sometimes it's necessary. So, you know, our Friday practice will be our normal Thursday practice. We probably won't do a whole lot tomorrow. Try to heal up and watch a lot of game film. So our normal Monday may be Tuesday this week. So it's not going to throw us off. But, yeah, anything off, yeah, as a coach, you don't want that.
Right.
But I think we'll be okay. It'll be our first day game. But I think our experience from last year and the year before, being able to play during that daytime stuff, I think it'll be good for us. I think we'll be okay.
I think it's going to be great too to have, you know, that extra day to heal. It's because after this was a physical game Friday night, we were talking about that on the way over. Me and Aaron were, you know, having a little extra day to heal too is going to go big this week too.
Well, it helps Carter Roach too.
Yeah.
It was another day. And matter of fact, the only time we really considered being out of the routine this past week and considered Saturday if we thought that he would be full speed if we had another day.
Right.
So we knew one more day wasn't going to change, and we weren't going to try to play him at all anyway. So, yeah, another day, get Carter and everybody else that's got a little banged up and bruised up, another day will help too.
Well, with what you've seen right now, I mean, what's the keys that you see that, you know, from watching them that we need to watch out for?
Well, defensively, they're strong and quick up front. They're a little more athletic up front than we've seen. Got some good linebackers that fly to the football. The film I've watched is they're a little slower offensively teams they've played, so they're making some tackles in the backfield because they're so aggressive. Hopefully we hit the holes a little quicker than the teams they've played. Hopefully we're a little bit more physical than anybody they've played up front. So, you know, we're going to stick to what we do. We're capable of doing more than y'all have seen. We can spread it out. We can throw it around. As you can see on our last drive, we did something out of the norm of that game anyway. So we'll adjust to what they do, but they got some skilled guys on offense that can go the distance, but we've seen those kids like that before. So we'll do a good job of film study and their tendencies, and I will like to shout out to the coaching staff. They do a really good job on the other team's tendencies, and our scout team players come in and try to run their offense, and they do a good job. And it's really different, the difference maker when you're on the field there and our kids are calling out plays before the run. And they've done that this year. So it's frustrating on the other team. But we'll do that. We'll prepare to what they do, and I'm sure they'll come up with some different wrinkles than we've seen, but that's part of what coaches do. So
Absolutely. Well, you think there'll be a smell of charcoal here Saturday or anything like that?
wow, you wouldn't come here to eat, would you?
You daggone right.
Yeah, you might smell some charcoal or run into an eagle's nest here every once in a while.
Man, I think that parking lot ought to be crammed full of grills growing and.
Well, I think you guys need to do the game day thing. Come a couple hours early.
Well, we'll talk to Michael Paul and see if we can't get this to go.
Yeah, just bring in the cameras and root on these kids.
Shoot, man, we're definitely behind them 100% and everything. And we do want to wish you luck this week and everything. Hopefully you get that and get to go add another milestone to what's never happened here before, you know.
Well, one thing that's been our mentality and it's really worked for us is we're one game at a time. Somebody asked me today about Alta Vista, out of Region B, and Hadn't looked at them. We can't if we don't beat the team we're up against now. We don't see an Alta Vista or an Essex. So we've been really good. The kids have been really good on listen. Take a couple days the weekend to enjoy our win. Monday they refocus on who's up next, and they go to work. And we don't look ahead because we've all been there. You look ahead and you don't get there.
Yeah,
So somebody sneaks up on you.
I agree with you. You don't want to look at Alta Vista.
I know.
I'm just joking with you, Coach, but go back to what you was talking about, this next opponent. One thing I seen from him is this little dude, he's going to return punts. He's going to catch them whether your guys are 5 yards from him or 15 yards. And I think one of the big key things is getting downfield on punts and stopping this punt returner they got. He's
Well, hopefully, dog, they're not going to be punting the ball.
Well, I've said that for a long time. I said I'm not worried about it because we don't punt. But we did punt 3 times Friday. One thing I don't want to do again is have to chase down an over-the-head snap. But
that was a heck of a play by your punter to get that punt off.
Yeah, that's our quarterback, and to have the.
Well, he didn't just get it off. It was a beautiful punt.
Absolutely.
You couldn't ask for no better a punt.
He averaged 42 yards a punt in 3 punts, but to average, he was probably 30 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So that don't count as his punt.
Well, see, that's what where I was at the other end of the field. I couldn't see. I seen the ball go over his head, and I was kept looking. And I was waiting for a signal, first down or something. Then all of a sudden, I see the ball in there, and I was like, "That's still coming this way." I was like,
and then they didn't field it and got that roll out of it.
Honestly,
man, that was a heck of a play.
I don't think anybody that was rushing for East Side saw it go over his head or something because they all stopped and turned around. He had no rush on him whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
But that was back to that Joe Cool thing, man.
Well, it's always good to have your quarterback back there too. Yeah. Matter of fact, he didn't even think about falling on it. If you watch him, he just goes and picks it up, turns around, and has got all day to punt it. So
that was a big play.
Yep.
He got one heck of a roll out of it, and it was one heck of a punt.
Yeah.
I said, boy, if you're at Cove, you got to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did he look at you and smile?
He always looks at me and smiles. He's always having a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's always having a good time.
That is awesome.
His biggest smile was after the touchdown pass that it was 25 seconds ago.
I guarantee that was. Yeah, absolutely. Man. Well, let's get in here to the VHSL. We'll do a little picking here and everything. Up first, we're going to have 2A state semifinals. We got Graham versus Glenvar.
I think this might be the end of the road for the G-men. So I'm gonna go. I think Glenvar's gonna pull it out.
I tell you, this Glenvar quarterback, he's had a heck of a year, and I've went back and watched several games on him, and even though Graham really ain't got no offense, man, I just don't know if Glenvar's faced a defense like this. Graham can just beat you with their defense, and they've got an all-star defense, and I just don't know if Glenvar's faced any team that physical all year, and I'm gonna go with the G-man and the physicality.
It's hard to pick against Graham in this game, but I think that Glenvar can do enough.
They've got some offense, and they're gonna have to do it. If you're gonna beat Graham, you're gonna have to do it through the air.
Yeah.
And that quarterback for Glenvar, he's had a heck of a year, but I'm still gonna go for that mean, gritty defense and special teams of Graham.
Well, I'm the same way. Glenvar, I've read a lot on them, seen a lot. I know how successful they've been, and probably maybe favorite in this game. But anytime you go to Bluefield because they're playing at home, it's hard for me to pick against Graham. So I'm going with Graham at home and that defense. And they still got some playmakers. Maybe they don't burn it up on offense, but they can score.
Yeah, absolutely. I think two of the differences that maybe in this game is, one, it is at Graham. Number two, a lot of people don't realize the athletes and the speed that Graham actually has on that defense. I mean, even on their corners and their back half of their defenses, they're quick, they're very athletic, And so I'm sure that Glenvar probably hadn't. I'm sure they've seen the athletes because, I mean, we know Gretna, they always have good athletes and stuff, so they've seen that and stuff too. But I don't know, man. This Graham's defense is. I put it on when I put the thing out on our Facebook page. You know, probably the best defense versus the best offense this year, and which one comes out. And we've said it for a long time. Defense wins championships and everything. Man, it's really hard for me to pick this game right here.
They got special teams too.
Well, yeah, that does. I really think Glenvar's probably going to be the biggest test that Graham saw all year. But with it being at Graham, I think I'm going to go with Graham. If it had been at Glenvar, I'd have went Glenvar. But it's going to be a good game.
Just leave me out there by myself, Aaron. That's fine.
I'm sorry, Grant. I really do want to go Glenvar in this one because
If you really wanted to go Glenvar, you go Glenvar, but you're not. So I'm just going to leave me out here by myself.
Man, don't pull me into that. Please don't, because I really have been kind of torn with this one.
Oh.
All right, Corson and Strasburg.
Well, you know me, I'm old school. I pulled for Strasburg last week. I'm gonna do it again. Strasburg, big.
I think Kermit just picked him because just here wasn't here telling him how to say Pecoyson.
That is probably true.
That's probably right too.
No, I'm with Kermit on this one. I'm going Strasburg.
I'm not quite sure. I don't know anything about these two teams. I know the history of Strasburg, so I'm gonna lean that way too.
Speaking of the history, me and Kermit's been talking about this. I don't know how many they've won, but by golly, they've played in a bunch of state championships.
I told Aaron, I said, you know, back when we played, and I think we beat Strasburg in 3 state title games, you know, back in the 80s and 90s. I said, I think somebody else beat them a couple times. I said, they may not have win a lot of state titles, but they've been there.
Yeah, they definitely played it. Do you know how many they've been in?
I have no idea.
They kind of remind you of a Tennessee team over there. Down there around Maryville. Which Maryville won a bunch of them too, but I think I'm going with you on this one as well. I'm going to go with Strasburg in this one as well. Up next, we have Essex versus Alta Vista.
I'm going Alta Vista on this one. What I've watched of them, I think they're a pretty good football team.
Essex is state runner-up last year.
The Bills was 4-time Super Bowl runner-up school.
I know it's coming.
Oh, that hurt. If you're a Buffalo fan, that hurt.
In a row, too, right?
Yeah.
But daggone that. I tell you, man, this Essex team, they must be a lot better than what they was at the beginning of the year because Rappahannock or something like that. Yeah, they beat Essex early in the year, you know, in I think it was a 13-6 ball game or something like that. But this Essex team, they got a wild-looking offense, and they love to run them sweeps, and somehow they get it done like that. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but they get it done. But I'm gonna say hasta la vista, because Alta La Vista is gonna wear them out.
Coach, you're reframing on this one, or?
Yeah, I best. I just know that the Essex coach is an old Emory guy, so it's hard not to root for him. But I'll let it.
Essex is another one of those schools like Strasburg's. It's just always when we get down this time of year, you can guarantee you're going to probably hear Essex.
So I'm just going to let it play out.
All righty, and we know where you're going on the next one, so no. Anyhow, so we got Cove, Grayson County. We'll start with you, dog.
Well,
no, wait. Let's start with you.
Yeah.
Then it's going to come to me. You're going to close us out with this one, okay, dog?
all right.
Well, I know, talked about Grayson County. Seems like they got some athletes or whatever. We've all talked about this, back in the '80s and '90s, whenever teams from around here was going upstate and winning games that people were like, where in the world? Why do they keep coming up here and beating us like that? And it goes down to the physicality. And I think that Rye Cove is more physical than anything Grayson County's seen this year, and I think them boys are going to get tired of the physical play. And you have to beat Rye Cove. They're not going to give you they're not going to make the mistakes and hand you the game. And I just think that the physicality is the difference in the ball game, and I think Rye Cove pulls another one out down here in the nest.
Yeah, Rye Cove is a team that I think I'm with you. Very physical team. They, like we've talked earlier, they don't panic. In situations when things don't necessarily look like they're going their way, they don't panic, and they just wait for their time. When you make the mistake, then they pounce on you. And Grayson County is a good team, buddy. They've been here in this situation a lot. And if you look at, teams that's probably been there more, it probably does have the upper hand. You would probably lean Grayson County. But I just feel like there's a little thing called destiny. And I think we kind of seen that this past Friday at this Eastside Rye Cove game, that Rye Cove's destined for something special this year, and I'm going with the War Eagles.
I'm going to tell you, we'll let Kermit go. I'm going to say this. You remember the Titans?
Yes, sir.
You remember whenever he's talking about that offense? It's like Novocaine, just give it time, it always works.
Yes.
That's what Rye Cove football's like. Give it time. Them holes open up.
Well, I've said it earlier. I think, as a whole, I think Region D has been tougher as far as matchups and teams as a whole. I think up there in Region C, you probably got two really great teams. Up there in Region B, you probably got one, or in Region A, you may have one or two. But I think Rye Cove's battled their way so far all the way up to this game right here, and they've been battle tested. Last week was championship game. That was championship ball last week. Grayson County, we know they beat heck of a George Wythe team. George Wythe's tough. Went up there Rafford, laid it on Rafford. Single A school, plays Graham, and man, it's going to be one heck of a ball game. But I'm like Coach. I think a lot of teams, they play the offensive play. It's slower, drawed out plays. I think Rye Cove hits the holes and hits them a lot quicker, a lot harder. And I believe that's going to be the difference in the game, because them War Eagles for real, baby. Them War Eagles for real. Give me the War Eagles.
You've been on driving that bandwagon for what now? How many weeks?
I ain't getting off.
How many weeks?
Hey, I said this before we came on the podcast, and me and the Porch Talk guys were watching the game. Kermit was supposedly here, but
Yes.
none of us saw him. But we did see the Eagle mascot. So I'm just saying, nobody ever saw Clark Kent and Superman in the same place.
Oh, and all I'm saying is, if it's really cold this Saturday and they need somebody to do that, I am willing to do it myself.
They've already got somebody doing it. He's right here.
I'm an ex-mascot anyhow during basketball season. I know how to pick the pots and get the crowd going. Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's all we got on the picks this week and everything. Coach, is there anything that you'd like to say to your fan base and about Saturday's game?
It's the same old thing I've been saying all year. We appreciate this fan base, this community, the school, and all the support everybody's give these kids. And not just the kids, they support all these coaches and the administration here. And it's just exciting times, and we really appreciate the support they gave us. And come out and support us on Saturday, and let's see if we can get this thing done.
Man, I say let's make this thing like a college atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Bring the grills, get the hot dogs out, get the weenies, warmed up. Get them hamburgers frying, baby, and let's make this thing like a big college atmosphere and come in here and support these Ryco War Eagles. But guys, it's the last team we got down here left in this single A, so let's all get behind them and root them on. Grant, you got anything?
I'm good.
Dog, you good?
Ready to go.
Well, if all hearts and minds clear, we'll see you on the next one. Peace.